So find a comfy spot on your mat. And if you have a block, I highly recommend sitting atop to help release. And what I wanted to focus on today was releasing tension. I've noticed that there is a tremendous amount of tension in the world and within most of us, and noticing it and listening to it is the path towards releasing it. I think many of us resist it and don't want to have the tension. And in that, the tension grows and we are often more reactive than responsive. And so approaching the tension with kindness and softness, being open and willing to explore it, can be the most easeful path through. So that's what we'll do today, and I'm hoping it will be lovely for all of you and for me. So for those of you I don't know, I think I know most of you, I am Jessie Mahoney, and this is Mindful Weekend Yoga. And as I mentioned at the outset, I will be teaching at 9 Pacific for the next 3 Saturdays in January, and then I'll let you all know about the February schedule shortly. And just make sure as you move through yoga, it's very hard for me to see you in your little boxes. I do love seeing you in your boxes, but I can't sort of give you comments and feedback. So make sure that you listen to your body and you do what works for you and opt out of anything that doesn't feel right, or modify or minimize. Less is more in yoga. And oftentimes when we push, we actually get less out of it. So use these classes as a chance to explore and a chance to listen to your body. So notice those sit bones, your ischial spines, and connect them to the earth underneath, finding some stability and connection and grounding wherever you are. And for those of you in San Francisco this morning, interestingly, we have a tsunami warning from some volcano somewhere far away in the world. And just noticing that even in the midst of that, you can find grounding. And drawing your attention to something specific with intention is a way of lessening the tension. So drawing your attention specifically to those sit bones and ischial spines and connecting them downward into the earth, and noticing how good that feels. Tilt your spine, pelvis forward, and row your spine tall. Stack each vertebrae one atop the other. Noticing perhaps that in the stacking and in the aligning, you feel a little bit of release. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears as high as you can and lower them down. Notice the release in the shoulders. And lengthen your neck, those bones behind the ears. Envision lifting them up with your fingers, or even lift them up with your fingers. Reach the crown of your head tall towards the sky. And once again, drop your shoulders. And then if it works for you, close your eyes. And take in a long, huge, deep, smooth inhale. Filling your lungs completely, and a long, smooth, easeful exhale, no pressure, just letting things go. Breathing in again, nourishing breath, filling every nook and cranny. And then exhale, releasing, letting go of tension. And pause here and just notice how you feel. Bring your left hand to heart and right hand to top. Notice the skin-to-skin contact of both the palm of the bottom hand on your chest and the palm of the top hand on the dorsum of the other hand. Perhaps rub it gently, sending yourself some kindness, compassion, and oxytocin. Let it release through your body and notice where it's needed. Can you send it to the pockets of tension? Where is your tension? Is it in your neck, your shoulders, your gut, your hips? Where do you notice it? Take a deep inhale and an exhale, let it go. Press in gently into that heart space once again. Noticing that when you let go, and perhaps let go of the control and trust, you can release the tension a little bit more. think often in the world, when we feel stress and have tension, we try to control to feel better. But when we relax in, such as in yoga, that's when we can fully let go. So can you trust for the next hour that you will be okay? Take good care of yourself. Nourish all those nooks and crannies of tension, and that letting them go will feel better and will perhaps help you navigate whatever the underlying challenges might be at this moment. Once again, take in a long, deep, smooth, nourishing, calm, trusting inhale. And a huge exhale. Bring your hands to heart center, rub your palms together, finger pads touch. Thumbs connect into the sternum and elbows out wide. Take a moment here with your eyes closed to listen. Notice where that tension is. Send your attention to it lovingly and kindly. Take an inhale and sending the breath to it. From exhale, let it go. We invite you to set an intention, perhaps of trust, perhaps of peace, perhaps of kindness, and offer that those emotions are the ones that help us let go of the tension, release the tension, and help us move through the challenges more easily, more buoyantly. So take a moment to set your own intention for the next hour. What might that look like for you? Take a deep inhale to seal it in. And an exhale to begin. Slowly lower your hands to your thighs. Open your eyes and just notice how you feel. Place your right hand on the earth on the right side by the right hip. Reach the left arm up gently towards the sky. Bend the right elbow and extend the left fingers over towards the right gently, lengthening the whole left side body. Breathe into it with kindness. And exhale, releasing the tension, opening up all the little pockets. Once again, breathing in kindness. And exhale, releasing the stress. Press into the right hand, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach both fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, lower your left palm towards the earth. Ground that right hip downward. Extend the right fingers towards the left. Bend the left elbow gently. Stretch the whole right waist, right side body. Breathe into it deeply, nourishing every nook and cranny. And exhale, let it go. Inhale deeply. And exhale, let it go. Press into that left hand. Bring both hands up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers. Flip your palms towards the sky. Shimmy your elbows towards your ears. Take a moment to notice your sit bones. Send them downward. Press your palms towards the sky. Deep inhale, lengthening the side body and engaging your core, your navel. Exhale, round forward, suck your spine back towards the back wall and allow your head and neck to fall forward, releasing the whole back body. Breathe into it here as you stretch those palms forward. And exhale, reach the palms a tiny bit farther forward here, using your belly for strength. Inhale, rise up, slight arch into a seated cow. Exhale, round forward with intention. Suck that navel all the way back towards your spine. Release the head and neck. Notice what lets go as you press the palms forward. Inhale, reach tall, slight arch, palms reach towards the ceiling. Notice your upper arms by your ears, slight arch in the spine. Exhale, round forward, drawing your attention to your belly as you move, moving with intention and purpose. Take an inhale here with your palms forward. Feeling every nook and cranny of the back body. And as you exhale, stretch those palms forward, noticing the stretch in every nook and cranny of the arms. Inhale, reach up towards the sky once again. Release your fingers, open them out towards the side, reclasp them at the sacrum. Extend your fists, extend your elbows towards the floor, and drop your shoulders down and back. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest, release the neck gently. Notice the stretch in the upper scap. Chin relaxes, all the stretch in the neck. Breathe in here deeply into every nook and cranny. And exhale, release the tension and enjoy. One more breath here. Inhale into any pockets of tightness. Hands reach towards the earth. Exhale, release. Bring your chin back up to shoulder height. Gently turn your gaze to the right and just enjoy it. Bring it back to center. Turn your gaze to the left. Come back to center. Release your hands and shake them out. You may have some tingling in there. Roll your shoulders back 3 times. Very nourishing. Lubricating the joints, roll them forward 3 times. And just notice how good it feels. From here, you can take out what you're sitting on. If you prefer to be on the floor, some of you may wish to stay up. Stretch your legs long in front of you and move the flesh of your seat out of the way kindly. No judgment about what might need to be moved. Knees bent gently. Take your pelvis, tilt it forward, and puff your chest out towards the front. Engage that belly once again. Inhale your arms up towards the sky. Palms face one another. Exhale, fold forward and release. Allow your head and neck to relax towards your shins. And notice all the sensations of release. Inhale here. And exhale, lower your knees towards the earth, coming into more of a forward fold. But notice what works for you. If your knees need to stay bent, do what works. Less is more in terms of stretching and releasing tension. Breathe into it once again. And exhale, let it go. Slowly rise back up your shins to your knees, to your thighs. Take your hands and stretch your legs out wide, coming into a wide angle. Once again, notice your sit bones. Tilt your pelvis forward. Spine is straight. You're hinging at the waist here. Take a moment to get organized so that the work can be done here efficiently and kindly. Notice your toes in line with your knees, heading towards your hips. Your knees can be bent if need be, or you can just narrow your wide angle. Ground the ischial spines into the earth and tilt forward. Take your hands, place them about 2 feet in front of you, palms on the earth, and walk forward inch by inch by inch. Notice the release in the back of the legs. Inhale deeply into that pocket behind the heart. Send your attention right there. It's likely tight or stuck. Breathe into it, fill it up with nourishing air. And exhale, inch forward another inch. Perhaps your forearms will land on the earth, perhaps not. Notice your toes once again. If they've gone wonky, flex the ankles, flex the toes towards your knees, and notice the release in the back of the legs. We carry a tremendous amount of tension there. Send the breath into it with kindness. And exhale, fold forward gently, a little bit more. Just notice the release. Breathe into it with intention, with trust, with peace, knowing that you can let go of that tension and all will be even more well. That when we let go of control is actually when we feel better. When we trust and release the stress, we're much better able to navigate whatever's going on. Slowly walk your hands back towards your groin. Pick them up, place them behind you, tense your fingertips down, press them into the earth, shoulders down and back, chest puffs out. Press into those fingers, pick up your hips and shift yourself forward an inch or so. Inhale deeply into the chest. And exhale, release. Notice those ischial spines on the earth once again and the heels on the earth. Inhale once again, right into that pocket behind the chest. And exhale, let it go. Release your hands. Bring them back to your thighs, the outer edge of your thighs, and gently draw your legs together. Bring the soles of your feet together. Come into butterfly pose. Rock once again on your sit bones. Ground the ischial spines into the earth. Hands come to your ankles and pull them gently in towards you. Wherever works for you. It can be a narrow triangle or it can be a diamond shape. Inhale once again. Connect the ischial spine, sit bones into the earth. Lengthen your spine, chest puffs forward. And exhale, let it go. Lower the knees gently towards the earth, releasing tension. Inhale once again into that pocket behind your heart. Filling it with trust, safety, security. You will be well. Exhale, releasing the tightness, the need to control, the need to carry, the need to help and save everyone. Inhale, taking care of you. And exhale, let it go. Release your hands. Lengthen your legs out in front of you and just shake them out. Bouncing the knees. We're gonna swing our legs around, and rather than coming directly to hands and knees, we're gonna press straight up into downward dog today. Take your time to get organized. Hands should be shoulder width. All 10 fingers spread wide, equal pie shapes. All 10 knuckles pressed down, both palms pressed down. Feet are about mat's width, wider than usual. Up on your tiptoes to start. Walk your hands forward perhaps another inch than where you started. Press into the hands, engage your arms, reach your sit bones towards the sky. Allow your head and neck to come gently, fall towards the floor and release here. Pause and just enjoy the tension melting. Envision it melting. Breathe into any pockets that feel tight or twangy. And a huge exhale. Lift up high onto both tiptoes as high as you can. And slowly lower them down. And breathe into the abundance of sensations you likely feel here. Exhale, let it go. Bend the left knee, press the right heel towards the earth and enjoy that. Switch sides, bend the right knee, press the left heel towards the earth and enjoy that. Lift back up onto both tiptoes. Lower them down. Gently walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold. Feet are wider. Lift up all 10 toes and lower them down. Hands come to your elbows and allow your head and neck to release here. Your knees can be bent if they need or straight, whatever works for you. And notice what you enjoy. And allow yourself to sway here. Trust that you won't tip. And release completely. Allow the lower back to release, perhaps twist in one direction or the other. Draw your attention to your neck and allow it to release. Head and neck extend towards the floor. While there, shift into your toes gently and into your heels. To the left and to the right, just swaying like a tree in the breeze. Noticing the different pockets of tension there. Can you, with intention, breathe into it and let it go? Lower your hands towards the earth, left palm flat to the earth between your feet. Bend your left knee, twist to the right side, roll the right wrist out, look upwards if that works for your neck. And roll your wrist to the left side, enjoying it. Lower the right hand down, bend the right knee, replace the left hand with the right, twist towards the left, roll your hand in one direction and then the other. Bring both hands to the earth, knees bent, engage your belly and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Head will be the last to rise. When you arrive, shrug your shoulders up to your ears once again, as high as you can. Pinch the scapula together, draw them back towards the back wall. Enjoy the release and lower your hands to the earth, palms open to the front. Tadasana or mountain pose. Pause here, take in a deep inhale and a huge exhale, releasing out through your hands and through your feet, all the tension. Noticing it melt away here. Once again, inhale into the chest space and exhale, let it go. Bring your arms out and up towards the sky. Right thumb and middle finger grab the left wrist above you. Left foot grounds into the earth, left hip grounds into the earth. Tug the left wrist gently towards the right. Stretch the whole left side body. Use your core to protect your spine here. Inhale deeply. Exhale, tug that left wrist towards the right. Use your core. Inhale, come back to center. Switch the clasp of your hands, left thumb and index finger grab the right wrist. Notice the right foot, the right hip extends downward. Tug the right wrist towards the left. Stretch the whole right side body here and enjoy it. Exhale, release, tug gently towards the left. Use your core to protect your spine and to optimize the release. One more big breath into the whole right side body. Send the breath into any nook and cranny that's tight with tension. Let it melt away. Come back to center. Release your arms. Reclasp them once again at your sacrum. Press your fists towards the earth. Extend the elbows. Draw your shoulders down and back. Breathe into your chest and into the shoulders. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Release the neck. Notice, hopefully, how good it feels. Inhale, breathe into any pockets of tightness. Exhale, release. Knowing you don't need the tightness, you don't need to hold on to it all to be safe. Bring your chin back up to shoulder height. Release your arms. Bring your arms out to shoulder height. In either direction, make a fist and release. Make a fist and release. Point your fingers towards the sky. Wrists are flexed. Arms extend in both directions. Press those palms into the side walls. Engage every muscle. Pinch your scapula and release. Press the palms into the side wall. Wrap your right arm under the left. Elbows connect. Come into eagle arms. Inhale, lift your elbows to shoulder height, if that works for you. If it doesn't, just leave them towards your chest. And exhale, pause. Inhale, lift up an inch, if that works for you. Notice the release in the back between your scapula. Exhale, lower an inch. Breathe into it here and try to relax. Whatever you do with your hands is fine. Everyone's hands work differently here. Another breath in, lift up. Exhale, drop your elbows towards your chest, towards your navel, and allow your head and neck to release here. Breathe into any pockets of tightness. Exhale, releasing tension. Inhale and exhale. Notice if you feel twangy or a little weird as you release the tension. We often hold on so tight that you can feel a little nauseous when you start to breathe and let things go. So if that's the case, move slowly. Inhale, raise your elbows up towards your shoulders, untangle your arms and release them out towards the side. Lower them to your sacrum once again, reclasp, press the elbows and the fists towards the earth, shoulders down and back. Lower your chin, breathe in once again. And exhale, release. Lower, raise your chin, pardon me, to your shoulder height. Release your arms out towards the side wall. Once again, flex the wrists, palms press into the side wall. Pinch the scapula together and release. Cross your arms in the opposite direction, left elbow under right. Bring your hands together, come to eagle arms. If that works for you, you can clasp your thumbs, palms together, or just leave your hands out like this, whatever works. Inhale, raise your elbows to shoulder height and pause. Exhale, inhale, lift up another inch. Exhale, lower to shoulder height. You can stay wherever works for your shoulders. Inhale, lift up an inch. Exhale, bring your elbows into your navel and allow your head and neck to release. Notice as you do this standing that you need to use your core to hold yourself stable in the release. And that we can use parts of our body to be still and engaged and strong while we let go of the tension. It's not a full surrendering. It's a purposeful, intentional letting go of the tension that's not serving us. Inhale deeply once again here. And exhale, release, let things go. Inhale, chin up to shoulder height. Untangle your arms, stretch them towards the side walls and lower them down. Roll your shoulders 3 times. Notice how different it might feel than when we started. And roll them back 3 times. Pause for a moment. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and just notice how you feel. Ground your feet into the earth. Inhale your arms out and up towards the sky. Palms come together, slight arch back. Fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift here, spine straight. Stick those sit bones out towards the back wall. Notice the release in the legs here. And exhale, fold forward, release. Inhale for a half lift, spine straight, crown of the head reaches forward, sit bones stick back. Exhale, fold forward once again. Walk your hands forward to downward dog once again. And take a moment to get organized. Fingers spread wide, palms connect into the earth, arms engaged, shoulders engaged. Left sole of the foot, ball of the foot connects to the earth. Notice all 5 left toes on the earth. Spread them wide, connect them down. Engage your belly, raise your right leg towards the sky. Press the heel into the back wall, 3-legged dog. Everything strong and engaged here. Inhale. And then exhale, release. Bend the right knee, stack your hips, open the front of the right hip. Roll the ankle in one direction. Everything else is engaged, both arms, left leg. Roll your ankle however feels good to you and draw your attention to the front of that right hip. Re-square your hips, extend the right foot and heel, press the heel into the back wall. Everything engaged once again. Pause here, inhale. On the exhale, gently bring the right foot between your hands, come into a low lunge and take a minute to get organized. Wiggle the right toes as far forward as need be. Untuck the back toes, bend the right knee, back knees on the earth, and inhale your arms up towards the sky, coming into a low lunge. Take a minute here to find your stability. Tack the right hip back, left hip forward. Make sure your right knee is in line with your toes and that your knee does not extend beyond your ankle. You may want to bring your hands to your right thigh and pause here. You might notice that that gives you a bit more of a release, and you can shimmy the back knee back a little bit farther with your hands lower. Whichever position you're in, take a deep inhale and exhale, bend that front knee a tiny bit more and notice the stretch in the front of the left hip. Breathe into it. If you can, close your eyes here. See if you can balance. Arms can be up in the sky, they can be resting on the right thigh, or they can be palms together at heart center, whatever works for you, to allow the tension to melt away. Don't push it away, don't force it away. Breathe into it, draw your attention to it, and just literally visualize it melting. Noticing that there's trust there that needs to help it melt and dissolve. Another deep inhale. And an exhale, let it melt a tiny bit more. Lower both hands to either side of the right foot. Curl the back toes. Lift up to a high lunge. Widen your feet slightly. Hands are still on the earth. Bend the front knee and allow yourself to sink into the high lunge. You'll probably notice some sensations in the right hip. Left palm flat to the earth, twist to the right, coming into an easy twist. Back heels off the earth, back leg is straight. If it works for your neck, look up to the right hand, and if not, look down. Right hand can wrap into the left hip crease. Roll the right shoulder back, roll your heart open. Breathe into it here, into all the space behind the heart. Melting the tension and the stuckness, letting things go. Another deep inhale here. Tuck that right shoulder back and exhale, release. Reach the right hand towards the sky. Lower it to the outside of the right foot. Press off the back foot, hop it forward about 2 footprints, come into pyramid pose. If you wish here, use your blocks. If you have them, they can be on either side of that front foot. You actually get a lot more of a release with the blocks rather than without. We often think that the help is less than, but it's very often more than. Hands, palms can rest on the top of the blocks. Both legs are straight. Tack the right hip back and the left hip forward and notice how that feels. Lift up all 5 toes on the right foot. Spread them wide and lower them down. Lift onto the toes of the back foot. Heel rises up and lower down. Inhale for a half lift. Come up. Back straight. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, fold forward and release the head and neck towards the knee. Breathe into it here. 3 long, deep, smooth breaths. With kindness. Notice if your body is resisting releasing. And can you just send it a message of trust and kindness? Knowing that we keep the tension often as a way to control. And our brain thinks it's keeping us safe. And yet it makes everything feel much more jolting. So can we melt the tension and ride the waves more buoyantly? Last breath here. Step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. You can keep your blocks if you have them, just move them a little bit farther in front of you. Allow your head and neck to fall into an easy forward fold and pause here with blocks or without. Engage your belly and slowly roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Head will be the last to rise. Notice the shifts in blood flow and move kindly. Allow things to adjust. Let yourself to just arrive this time. And take 3 breaths as you stand here. You can close your eyes. That feels good. For a light, loose gaze. Wiggle your fingers and just notice how you feel. Notice perhaps how the right side feels quite different than the left side. Bring your left hand to heart, right hand to top. Press in gently, sending yourself kindness, calming humanity, as Kristen Neff says, and mindful compassion for your humanness and for the fact that we carry the tension to try to protect ourselves, but knowing that without it, we might be even more able, better able to respond with intention, be more buoyant, and live a softer, more kind human existence. That the tension is an old pattern. Might we be willing to let it melt a little, soften just a little by little, not all in one day, but little by little. Deep inhale here. And an exhale. Lower your hands to your sides once again. Inhale, arms out and up towards the sky. Palms come together, slight arch. Fold forward, forward fold once again. Inhale for a half lift. Spine straight, crown of the head reaches forward. Sit bones stick back. Enjoy the sensations. And exhale, lower. Palms come to the earth, spread your fingers wide, step back directly to downward dog. And notice how you feel. Perhaps walk the dog here for fun. Release a little bit of the stress and the tension and get out of that intentional release, just playing and relaxing. And when you're ready, draw your attention to your hands once again, all 5 pie shapes in each finger web. Both palms connect to the earth, engage your arms, humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. Reach your spine towards the sky. Allow your head, neck to fall towards the earth. Press into your hands. Sit bones reach high. Notice the release in the shoulders. Notice the release in the back of the legs. Ball of the right foot connects to the earth. Lift up all 5 toes, spread them wide, lower them down. Engage your navel and raise your left leg towards the sky, coming into 3-legged dog. Press the heel into the back wall. Hips are square, everything engaged, both hands equally engaged, right leg is straight. Inhale. Exhale, bend to the left knee, stack the hips, open the front of the left hip, and enjoy the stretch. Roll your ankle however feels good. You might like to switch, keep going in one direction, just enjoy it. Re-square your hips, extend your left heel towards the back wall. Once again, everything engaged, fully engaged. Exhale, gently bring the left foot between your hands, come into a low lunge on this side. Take a minute to organize yourself. Wiggle the left toes forward, untuck the back toes. Get the back knee comfortable, perhaps fold your mat over, use a blanket. Push it back a smidge. Lift up all 5 toes on the front foot, spread them wide, lower them down, and gently come up. Hands can come to the left thigh, towards the sky, or hand to heart center, whatever feels right for you. Notice what feels good in the front of that right hip. Today, might be different than usual. Tack your left hip back and your right hip forward just a smidge. Noticing how that feels. Inhale, lengthen your spine, crown of the head towards the sky, and exhale, sink into the hips a little more. Ensure that your left knee is not extending beyond your left ankle. Perhaps wiggle the left toes forward a tiny bit, and you might notice your back knee slide backward a little bit. Breathe into it, don't overdo it. You can also use blocks here for those of you who are tight. Have the blocks directly under your shoulders and use that. You might actually notice that the tension melts away more easily that way. Breathe into it. With compassion, use your core to hold you strong here. One more breath. Excuse me. Bring your hands to either side of the front foot. Curl the back toes and lift up to a high lunge. You can use your blocks if you want to try and see how that feels. You may want to widen your stance a little bit. Walk that left foot gently towards the right. Right hand, palm comes flat to the earth. Spread your fingers wide. Twist towards the left. Left fingertips reach towards the sky. Notice the stretch in the outer left hip here. If it works for your neck, look up to your fingers. If not, gaze down. Pay attention to what feels good. Left fingers wrap into the right hip crease. Roll the left shoulder back. And enjoy the release and the popping open in that space behind your heart. Nourish it with breath and blood flow here. Without the same pressures of gravity. Notice how it feels. And perhaps even it feels a little stressful, pockets that haven't had any attention. Just approach that with kindness. One more breath here. Roll that left shoulder open. Right palm flat to the earth, back leg straight. Reach the left fingertips towards the sky. Lower them to the outside of the left foot. Walk the left foot towards the center of the mat a couple inches. Press off the back heel. Hop it forward and footprint or two. Come into a pyramid pose here. Grab your blocks if you've got them. And take a moment to get organized. Tack the left hip back, right hip forward. Both toes jet line towards the front of the mat. Lift up all 5 toes on the left foot, spread them wide, lower them down. Raise your back heel, lower it down. Tack the left hip back, right hip forward gently. Notice the change in sensation. Inhale for a half lift, spine straight, sit bones stick back. Exhale, fold forward to release. Use the blocks to support you if you have them. And if not, just allow your hands to come where they come. If you're really tight, you can keep them on your left thigh. And there's no judgment there. If you overdo it, you won't relax and you won't release. So you have to start where you are to get where you want to go. Breathe into it. And exhale, let it go. One more breath here. Noticing there's a lot of intense releasing today. Use the breath to bathe the muscles and let things go in the out breath. And drink a lot of water when you're done. Breathe into it once again. Any pockets of tightness that are calling out for attention. Then exhale, release. Step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Move your blocks out of the way if you have them. Stick your sit bones back and down. Come into chair pose. Bend your knees. Hands come to heart center. Engage your thighs. Notice everything working. The knees should connect energetically. Don't let them go out wonky to the sides. Palms together, elbows out wide. Just notice the thighs working, perhaps shaking. All good. 2 more breaths here. You can try to lift up all 10 toes here and lower them down. Lower your hands towards the earth, shoot your hips up, straighten your knees, allow your head and neck to release. Gently engage your belly and slowly roll up to stand inch by inch by inch. Head will be the last to rise. Notice those shifts in blood flow and move with kindness. Come to face the side of your mat the long way. Hands on your hips, elbows behind, chest puffs out. Take your feet, extend them wide angle feet. Sides of your feet are parallel to the front and back of your mat. Toes face the side edge of the mat. Elbows towards the back, puff your chest out, can't talk. Inhale and exhale, fold forward towards the earth. Legs are straight. Release your hands from your hips and you can gently place them on the earth in front of you. If you have a block, use that. Back is straight, not folding forward. So if without the block, you may walk your fingertips farther forward. You may need to heel toe your feet closer together if that works for you too. Huge inhale. And an exhale. Walk your hands back underneath you. Walk them over towards the right ankle. Left hand comes to the right foot or ankle. Right hand reaches towards the sky. Roll the right wrist. You can look up towards the right wrist or towards the earth, whatever works for you. Right hand wraps into the left hip crease. Roll the right shoulder open. Left hand still on the right ankle. Reach the right hand towards the sky. Lower it to the right ankle. Bring your left hand to the middle. Bring your right hand to the middle. Walk towards the left ankle. Right hand comes to the left ankle. Left hand reaches towards the sky. Take a moment to get organized. If your hand doesn't work on your ankle, you can put your hand kind of by your foot in front. Reach the left hand towards the sky, roll your wrist. You'll notice a lot of sensations in the butt and the back of the legs. Bring the left hand into the right hip crease, roll the shoulder open. Notice that sensation. Reach the left hand towards the sky, lower it back down, walk back to center. Hands are on the earth. Heel toe your feet together to about shoulder height. You'll be in a forward fold once again. Allow your head and neck to release here. Engage your belly and slowly roll up inch by inch by inch. Once again, notice all the sensations and go very slow. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Pinch them back towards the back of the mat and lower them towards the floor. Lots of tingles. Take a moment to just roll your shoulders, wiggle your toes, your fingers, whatever you need. Give yourself time to accommodate. It's not something that we generally give ourselves. We move from one thing to the next without accommodating, without transitioning. Lift up all 5 toes on the right foot and lower them down. Bend your left knee, raise it to hip height. Left hand comes to the thigh. Run it along the front of the knee, down the front of the shin, and grab your ankle and draw it in towards your hip. We're going to come into dancer pose, but not do the full pose. Hug that left heel towards your butt. Even your hips out so they are square towards the floor. Tug the left foot gently a little farther towards your butt. Notice the stretch in the front of the right thigh. If it serves you, raise your right hand towards the sky, coming into a balanced pose. This is as far as we're going to go today, allowing the front of that left thigh to release. If you need, you can use a strap. You can use both hands on the left foot. Notice what works for you, or you can keep your right hand on your right hip. Breathe into the left hip flexor and the left thigh. One more breath here. Noticing your hips, evening them out. Release that left foot, lower it down, wiggle both legs, roll the ankles out, let go of the tension with intention, particularly rolling the right foot out. Coming back to stand, hands can be on your hips. Lift up all 5 toes of the left foot. Ground the 4 corners of your foot into the earth, which means the 2 front 4-foot bones on either side of the heel. Lower the left toes. Right hand comes to the right thigh. Raise the right knee to hip height. Run the hand along the front of the knee, front of the shin. Grab your ankle and hug that right heel towards your butt. Here, find your balance. You can also have your hand on the wall if you need it. And notice the stretch in the front of the right thigh. Play with it a little bit. Get your hips organized. Notice what feels good, what feels too much. And if it works for you, raise your left arm towards the sky, coming into more of a balanced pose. Breathe into it. Exhale, let it go. 3 more breaths with the hand in whatever position feels good for you. On your hip, by your side, up in the air. Release the front of that right thigh and the right hip. Last breath. Release your right foot, lower it down, roll everything out. Ankles especially. Stick your right foot forward, off the ground, point your toe, and flex your toe, lower it down. Weight into the right foot, reach your left foot forward, point your toe, and flex your toe. and lower it down. And slowly come down to a seat. And I want to do a double pigeon to release the hips, but for those of you whose knees don't like this, you can come onto the floor and do a figure 4. For double pigeon, we will cross our legs loosely, have the left under the right. Move that flesh of the seat out of the way once again without judgment. Hands come to the right ankle. You'll pick up the right ankle and place it atop the left knee, if that works for your knees. Notice how that feels. You should immediately notice a release in the right hip. If this doesn't work for you, you can put the right ankle in front of the left knee, and that might be enough. Notice what feels best. And if neither of these works for you, you'll come onto your back, bring the right ankle over the left knee. You can pause there, or you can thread your arms around the left thigh and hug it in, and you'll notice a release in the outer right hip. Whatever position you're in, take a couple of breaths there. If you're seated, sit up tall. Tilt the pelvic bowl forward. You'll notice an increased stretch. Align your spine, lengthen your neck, reach the crown of your head towards the sky. Inhale deeply into the right hip area. And exhale, let it go. I recommend just staying upright, not necessarily folding forward. Being with the sensations and just notice what releases here. We always want to do more and stretch more. But sometimes it's the pausing and the sitting with it that allows more of the melt and letting go of tension you didn't even know you had. So allow yourself just to fully relax in here and trust that your body is doing the work that it needs to, whatever spot or position you're in. And that your work is different than everyone else's work, because all of our bodies are different. I think for those of you that are physicians, we often think about them as the same and that they function in the same way. But I think we know deep down that they also function differently, and different things work for each of us differently. One more breath here. And exhale, release fully. Untangle your legs and stretch them long if you're seated. If you're lying down, uncross them, even things out. You may want to even stretch your legs long, move the flesh of your seat out of the way, bang your knees. Notice the release. And recross in the opposite direction. Right leg under the left, hand comes to the left ankle, place the left foot atop the right knee, and you'll notice the release in the left hip. You can also have the right ankle in front of the right knee. In either upright position, tilt the pelvis, stack the spine, reach the crown of the head towards the sky, and notice the release. And if you're on the floor, left ankle is crossed over the right knee, and you can thread your arms and pull it through if that works for you. So a couple of breaths here, whatever position you're in. If you're in figure 4, keep your ankles and toes flexed to protect your knee. Breathe into the left hip deeply and enjoy it. And exhale, release, and let the tension melt. No pressure. Allowing yourself to pause and really notice here where the tension is. What are you holding on to and why? Are you trying to control things that are not in your control? And can you just let it melt away? The pandemic being not in our control, and what other people choose to do being not in our control. Breathe into your chest once again with kindness. And exhale, release fully, letting things melt. Uncross your legs and stretch them long in front, bending your knees out. For those of you that are on the floor already for figure 4, stretch your legs out long. And for those of you seated, stretch your legs long. Flex your ankles, flex your toes, knees will be bent slightly, arms parallel to your legs, and engage your belly and slowly roll down inch by inch by inch by inch. So hopefully we will all meet lying on the earth, wherever in the world you may be. I know we have people from lots of different countries who join this class on the weekends. So sending everyone everywhere some wishes of kindness and safety and health and wellness and happiness. Wishing for a world of less tension. And noticing as you lie here, hopefully there is much less tension than when you began. And you allow your toes to fall towards the outer edge of the mat. Palms relax towards the floor. And just notice your heels on the floor, your calves on the floor, your sacrum on the floor. Some part of your shoulders or upper back on the floor and the occiput on the floor. Connecting to the stability of this earth that we all share. Bend your knees and walk your heels towards your butt. Wiggle your toes towards your heels. Press into your feet and reach your sit bones high in the sky, coming into an easy bridge, releasing the back body. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. Hips reach skyward, buttocks engage, knees connect energetically. Allow the heart to hang. If you wish, you can grab the outer edges of your mat, tug them towards your heels, or clasp your hands underneath your hips. Inhale, reach those hips up high, 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 releasing and engaging all at the same time. And exhale, untuck your shoulders, slowly roll down towards the earth. Vertebrae by vertebrae, inch by inch, no rush. Gently draw your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Rock side to side, massage your sacrum, enjoy it. Grab the outer edges of your feet and come into happy baby if that works for you. If you want to just keep your knees to chest and roll, you can do that too. Massage your sacrum in this position. Soles of the feet reach towards the sky. You can spread your toes wide. Press your knees towards the earth, opening up the inner groin area. Breathe into it, releasing any tension held there. Exhale, release, letting things go. Inhale once again into every pocket of the chest. Exhale, let the tension melt away. Bring the soles of your feet together. Press your heels in towards your groin. Release your hands. Using your core, slowly lower your feet towards the earth. Knees will stay apart, soles of the feet together, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. A pose of compassion, but also of release. And notice if anything is tight or doesn't want to release here. Do you need blocks under your hips? Do you need to support your hips in some way? Get yourself comfortable or stretch your feet out longer in front of you. Whatever works for you today might be different than other days. And when your hips are safe and comfortable, bring a left hand to heart, right hand to belly, and check in with yourself. Pause here for 3 deep breaths. Gently and with kindness, bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs. Draw your knees together. Soles of the feet come back to the earth. Stretch your legs long. Allow your toes to fall towards the outer edge of the mat and your heels perhaps to widen about 6 inches apart. Palms open about 6 inches from your waist towards the sky. And take a minute to get your shoulders and your shoulder blades comfortable. Do you need to adjust your head? Taking a huge inhale and an exhale. Scrunch all of your face muscles tight, 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 tight. Squeeze your eyes tight, clench your teeth, squeeze everything as tight as you can, and let it go. Make fists, release them. Squeeze all the butt muscles together, tight, tight, tight. Let them go. And allow yourself to melt into the mat. The earth to hold you. The breath to happen all on its own. Allowing this full sense of release of tension. A few moments to relax and be. Nothing to control. Time to just trust. Trust in the universe. Trust in your safety. Trust in yourself, that you can give yourself a chance to fully rest and restore. And all will be well. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Gently deepen the breath. And exhale. Another smooth, conscious inhale. And exhale. If it feels good, raise your arms long above you and stretch your toes long in front of you. Taking a huge, delicious inhale. And then releasing, exhale. And slowly and kindly draw your knees into your chest and roll over to one side where you can pause, using your arm as a pillow. And just notice how you feel. Notice the sense of trust and safety and relaxation and comfort. Realizing that sense of foreboding and protection and control perhaps has lightened, perhaps it's gone for this moment. And notice how delicious it feels. Sending yourself some compassion for all the work to carry it, and perhaps some intention to carry less going forward. When you're ready, press your hands into the earth and slowly come up to a comfortable seat where we began. If you want, grab your block or your bolster and sit atop, or just come up sleepily and reconnect those sit bones to the earth. When you arrive, drop back into that Shavasana-like feeling. Connecting your sit bones downward, tilting the pelvic bowl forward, spine stacked, each vertebrae one atop the other, visually line them up like a string of pearls, all the way through your neck. Crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Take in a long, deep, smooth, nourishing inhale. And an exhale, drop your shoulders and release. Bring your hand to your heart, the other hand atop. A final check-in. An opportunity to send yourself kindness, compassion, love, and support. Reminding yourself that you can trust yourself. And that perhaps you don't need to carry quite so much tension along with you through the world. Perhaps you can invite a little more relaxation and carry it with you in the week ahead. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, finger pads, rub gently. Notice all of the sensations. Thumbs connect to the sternum. Palms press together, elbows out wide. Deep inhale with intention. And an exhale, let it go. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. The light in me shines and reflects the light in each and every one of you. May you all have a beautiful week with hopefully a little less tension and a little more ease. May you all be well. May you all be safe. And may you all find some joy, laughter, and love in the week ahead.
Thanks, Jessie. Have a good week.